Resolution amendment to 2021-22 Peoria County Rules of Order. Is there a motion to put that on the floor?
I'll move to approve.
Andrew? Sharon? Do we have minutes from the last meeting that we need to approve, though?
Not yet, Mr. Chairman.
Just for clarity, I'm not ad hoc. I am a member of this committee, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Did you want to, oh, hold on, Mr. Fennell. Do we want to explain it again for the viewing public?
Thank you.
Yeah, please.
I would appreciate it if you did. You do it better than I do.
Oh, no problem. The current board rules provide that in the annual reorganization meeting, that the chairperson, the presiding officer, appoints a temporary chairperson for the organizational meeting. And we're in a unique situation this year where the presiding officer, Mr. Rand, is rolling off of the board, and also our vice chairperson, Mr. Fennell, is rolling off. And so the chairperson of the Rules Committee approached our office for guidance, and we said that it would be probably best practice to have the presiding officer, outgoing chairperson, appoint a presiding officer for the reorg meeting in this instance. And so the Rules Committee expressed interest in codifying that and making that official in the rules, not just doing it ad hoc this one time in case it ever comes up again. Probably unlikely.
And also that there's a gap in service, terms expiring, and so there was this gap that we needed to fill, and this was the cleanest way to do it. Mr. Fennell.
I'd like to introduce a substitute or an alternate amendment to that. What my amendment is to, originally it was set up that the vice chairman was there, he would preside over the meeting, and now this new one eliminates that vice chairman if he's still in. I'm leaving, which makes no difference, but I feel that it becomes somewhat partisan to do this, because you're trying to keep only the one that's the chairman to be able to have that choice. And then this particular election has no bearing on it because of the number of votes. So I think my alternate is to put the vice chairman back in again. The only other meeting we had this year was to take away powers of the vice chairman again on appointments, that you had to have 60%. So I think, not that my job's that large anyway, but I don't think that you should do that. I think it should still be with the vice chairman to, if he's still here, to conduct the meeting of the next meeting, like we always had in the past.
So these rules were, that was one of the things that was brought up in the last meeting. We're setting the rules. This is still the rules for this board. The new board will have to adopt rules going on in the future. So,
But they'll look over the old rules and they'll adopt. So for my purposes, I think we should put this language in there. And I've got a copy of it for everybody. So I would put that as a motion to alternate to what you have presented.
is there a second? Seeing none, the motion fails.
Didn't think that was hard to pass.
Any other discussion on the rules?
So we have the original motion on the floor.
Back on the floor.
Okay.
Any discussion on the original motion on the floor?
I appreciate you getting this cleared up. One of the things I was just going to ask right quick is, don't our terms expire before the next reorganizational meeting?
Correct, and that was one of the dilemmas.
So there really won't be a chairperson or a vice chairperson or any of the other 16 board members.
No, so there's about a 16-hour window in theory, or 18-hour window where there is no county board. School board has it where they meet at a certain time. Ours, the rules have always been we still meet at night. And I appreciate the motion, Mr. Fennell, but this is the first time I've seen it, and we've had multiple weeks of discussion to go over this. And I would remind
It's not too difficult to understand.
but we've also had, the last few years, we've had split party, but there's nothing guaranteed in the rules that you have a Republican chair, Democrat vice chair, or vice versa either. So it's not a political issue necessarily the way I'm looking at it, but I think it's a chairman's appointment makes it cleanest. I respect you, but I wasn't prepared for an amendment tonight, and I think this language is the cleanest language.
I'll vote no then, thank you.
Okay. Recognize Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know I'm not on the committee, but I got a question. If the board is in limbo for 12 hours or so, is it a possibility to have the meeting the day before just for the reorganization?
We meet on the first Monday of December. So that meeting's typically at 6 o'clock at night, and that's how the rules have always been, is when our term is sworn in. So if
Okay.
it's a standard business day operating of the courthouse, anything.
Mr. Chairman, additionally, under state law, the new board is seated on the first Monday in December. So to Mr. Rosenbaum's question, you really could not have that meeting prior to the first Monday in December. This uniqueness only happens once a decade where the entire board is up for election. And it's further unique because the current chair and vice chair chose to not run for re-election.
Any other comments, concerns, questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Mr. Fennell?
I don't know if you're under other business, but I got one other item. The makeup of this body is three Democrats, one Republican. I think it would be better suited to be maybe 3 and 2 at least. I mean, I think the chairman has that prerogative. So when the next Ways and Means Committee is appointed and you'll appoint the people to that committee, you might think about trying to get a little bit better balance in there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fennell. Any other questions? I think this board here has always been a good mix, and the people around this horseshoe have tried to keep politics out of everything.
Well,
so.
I realize this, but when we come to the chairman is the time that we really have politics involved. And I'm just saying that let's not make it appear so political in the Ways and Means as making the rules, so that I'm just saying, take away that appearance.
Yeah, there's no set. The rule committee could be 12 people. This was just how it was. So that
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just taking it under advisement. Do what you will. Whoever is the chairman, that's my point.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anything else under miscellaneous? Seeing none, meeting adjourned.
Thanks, Jimmy.